Let's paint some eyeballs. We are going to do these in sets of 3. So depending on the shape of your rock, you can stack them together like this. You can even stack them up and put them in a martini glass like this viewer did. No matter which way you do it, just get one light coat down, filling them in. You're gonna need a second coat, so don't worry about putting it on thick. Once that first layer is dry, we're gonna come back and do a second layer on the eyeballs, but we're only gonna do it on the outer edges of the eyes. We're gonna leave the space we're gonna add color to without that second white coat. This will help you decide which way your eyes are going to be looking. And you also wanna decide which way your eyeballs are gonna stack, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit more here soon. Now, I do go out of order here. I'll talk about that later. For now, we're going to talk about coloring your eyeball colors. So on one of these rocks, I'm going to do a little bit more details, but as you can see, I'm doing a whole batch. And so this is a extra step. If you're doing like 1 or 2, maybe you want to add. But if you're doing a whole bunch, you don't need to add this detail. It looks fine without it. So we're just taking our extra fine tip paint pen and going with gray and then another color to give those stripes in the eyes. Now you could do this with a dark blue and a light blue, dark green, light green, so on and so forth. Unlimited color combinations. But as I said before, I'm going to do a whole batch of these, so I wasn't super particular about those minute details, so you can do them with a plain color as well. Now this is when we're going to go back to talking about that lining. So you should outline your eyeballs first, that way you know how they're going to stack in case that color maybe would end up underneath another eyeball. And you'll see here in my trios, I'll put one with the third eyeball in the middle underneath the outside 2, and the other one, I put it in front of the other 2. So it can really change the way that the rock looks in the end. Now, once you have your eyeballs on there, the colors on there, they've dried, we're gonna add our pupils in. And then we're going to add on some bloodshot eyes. So I like to make Y shapes, V shapes, hash lines. Make sure they're bumpy. If they get a little bit thick on you, that's okay. We can come back with our white extra fine tip and thin them out, or you can even thin them out as they get closer to the colored portion of your eye. Now we're going to take these up a notch and add just a little bit of shadowing to create the stacked effect on our stones. So we're just going to use our black paint pen and the littlest bit of water. I'm talking very, very small amount of water here. We're going to put a couple dots of our paint. This is water-based paint, and then we're just going to wiggle with our brush to create a shadow. Now, once you get a little bit of paint on your brush, you're going to be able to move it back and forth. You can add a little bit more water. Just take your time with this. You can add more shadow if you want into like dark crevices, like when all 3 are stacked, there might be like a darker corner. You can make that even a darker shadow. Make sure to come back and touch up though the white on the top eyeball. You don't want any of that shadow to spill over. If it leaks over the line, come back and clean that edge up. Last but not least, you just need to add a couple highlights. You could do 1 or 2 depending on how big your eye is. And then they're done. What do you think? Will you be giving this one a try?